Hi, I'm Alison Heath, the Longevity Rescuer, and the host of the EMF Summit. The symptoms of electromagnetic hypersensitivity. They call it hypersensitivity because everyone across the board is sensitive. Especially sensitive are children, the elderly, and people that are ill. These are population groups that are the most sensitive of all, but everyone is sensitive. And they're predicting by 2017 that 50% of the population will be experiencing electromagnetic hypersensitivity symptoms. They will be feeling sick. There are first warning signs that start happening. People have no idea what's wrong. They go to their physicians, they get tested, and they can't find out what's going on. They just feel something terrible is happening. I feel horrible, but they don't know what it is. So some of the early warning symptoms can be cataracts when you're very young because your eyes are super sensitive. Other warnings can be a bleeding nose. It can be ringing in your ears. You could have racing heartbeat. These problems include headaches as well. These are all symptoms that are early warning signs before more serious symptoms come down the road, like leukemia. That's a very big one. Brain tumors, all of these different types of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, neurological symptoms. The worst of it is that this information was known. The harmful effects of our wireless technology, the harmful effects of our dirty electricity in our house. So then we've got cell towers as well. We've got all these different things bombarding us. It's like the industry wants to plant seeds of doubt. Just like this little crystal wizard that I've got here beside me. We're being given studies that make it so confusing. It says, well, it can't be proven that tumors come from using your cell phone. It can't be proven that childhood leukemia is happening from when the smart meters are put in on the outside bedroom wall of a child's bedroom. They're saying all these things, and there are real scientists that are doing accurate studies that are showing that there is indeed a problem. There's epidemiologists that are tracking the whole way that the diseases are happening. They're able to see how these diseases occur when smart meters roll out and all these different things. But these are ignored. These scientists are blacklisted. One man, Dave Stetzer, who created with Dr. Graham, he created the Graham-Stetzer filter. And he sent me this book. It was translated from Czechoslovakian into English. And this was in 1971. And yesterday, somebody sent me something from 1965. Well, this document, this book, lists pages and pages of research studies that were done before the industry got involved in trying to plant seeds of doubt. They're talking about some of the things that people are experiencing that they knew. It was overall weakness, dizziness, their sleep is disturbed. And they're sleepy during the daytime. They're moody, frequently irritated and unsociable. They manifest feelings of fear. There's nervous tension, mental depression, deterioration of intellectual functions, and noticeably memory impairment. And I noticed that myself. I couldn't remember my passwords. I couldn't remember how to use a bunch of computer programs. Breathing difficulties, pounding of the heart. I certainly had that, and many complain of difficulty with their sex life. And this is just from a single irradiation can cause a drop in the resistance of organisms. Then they have the effect on eyes, and they did all these experiments on animals. They had the effects on eyes in man, and they show how these cataracts are forming. They have the nervous system and how it is affected. So he just is listing tons and tons and tons of studies that have been done on this. And it's page after page, reproductive tissue, So it's saying here that besides the eyes and the nervous system, the genital organs are the most susceptible to RF fields. They noticed a decrease in fertility in people working in RF fields. They see that it has a change in the menstrual cycles of women. Women aren't able to get pregnant, and if they do, they have miscarriages. It has a whole section on the circulatory system. So how that's affecting the circulatory system. Changes in blood pictures. They're looking at your blood through a microscope. The blood is definitely changing when it's exposed to microwave radiation. They have effects on the other parts of the body as well. So other organs are also affected, and they've done many studies on that. They have biochemical changes that are happening and the different reactions. They go on in great detail about this. They have effects also. They've done studies on other organisms. They've done studies on the invertebrates and how electromagnetic radiation affects invertebrates, on unicellular organisms, so amoebas and so on are affected. They do the effects on plants. They're looking at all of the type of biological effects that are happening. And this was published again in 1971. That's a long time ago. We have today people like Henry Lai who are discredited for their research proving that there's DNA damage happening from cell phone radiation. We have people that are coming out of retirement like Barry Trower because he can't stand to see that we have Wi-Fi in schools and we're subjecting these young children. They have thin skulls. They can't take this radiation. They're getting zapped. They're getting depression and so on. One of the schools where they cleaned up the electricity and they put in Graham-Stetzer filters, the teacher could plug in the filter and then she could pull it out. 45 minutes later, the children would be unmanageable. They would be off the wall. She'd put the filter back in and they would be fine and quiet. And yet today I was talking to one of my dear, dear friends, a very good girlfriend of mine who's a principal of a school. And she said, there's nothing I can do. I don't have any authority over getting the school cleaned up, getting the school wired instead of wireless. So we have a lot that we need to do. And I encourage you strongly to join me on the EMF Summit. Join me and find out more. Learn from these scientists. Schools in Ontario have removed wireless. Schools in France have removed wireless. Germany has removed wireless. There's something called the precautionary principle. And that is, don't wait for all this junk science. Don't wait for all these corporations who have so much money to gain that are just trying to cloud the issue and confuse us and so on with the information that they're saying, trying to reassure us that our toys are fine for us and it's okay for a child to have a cell phone. But it's not. The SAR is made for adults. It's not made for children. So we really need to be aware of what's going on because it's accumulative. It's going to build up and build up and build up in our body until we get sensitive. And once we're sensitive, it's really hard to live your life. People that are really super sensitive, they have to live like hermits. So I strongly encourage you to start finding out. Learn. Knowledge is your power. It's only through knowledge, it's only through people knowing that we can make a difference. Please come, join me, find out for the sake of your children, for the sake of your grandchildren, because this goes from generation to generation. Your children may be fine, their children may have a problem. So really, find out about this. This is important information, and there's many great scientists that are willing to share it with you. Join me on the EMF Summit.